My girlfriend faked a miscarriage to cover up her abortion of her affair partner's child. I never thought I'd be the kind of guy telling a story like this, but when your world shatters at the hands of someone you thought you knew, it changes everything. I met Vanessa during a rough patch in my life. My dad had just passed away. I was emotionally drained, and she was like this radiant burst of warmth that pulled me back from the edge. We met at a friend's housewarming party. She laughed too loud, talked too much, but God, she made everyone feel seen, including me. Our relationship moved fast. Within 3 months we were living together, finishing each other's sentences, making plans for the future. She wanted kids, and I had always dreamed of being a father. It felt like destiny. I thought I knew her. I thought she loved me. About a year into our relationship, she surprised me one night after dinner. She was pregnant. She cried when she told me, and I cried too, not out of fear but out of overwhelming joy. We started prepping for the baby, talking names, looking at cribs, even fighting over nursery colors. I was all in. Then things started to shift. Vanessa became distant, moody, sometimes cold, other times overly affectionate. I chalked it up to hormones, stress, morning sickness. But the truth, it was so much darker than that. 2 months into the pregnancy, I noticed Vanessa started avoiding me in strange ways. She wouldn't let me go to appointments with her, always had excuses, too last minute, or the doctor's office doesn't allow partners right now. At first, I believed her, but doubt crept in. One night she left her phone on the coffee table. A message popped up. It was from someone named Aaron, just a heart emoji and thinking about you. Aaron? I didn't recognize the name. My chest tightened. I opened the thread. What I found made me sick. Hundreds of messages, flirty, intimate, explicit pictures, him shirtless, her in lingerie I'd never seen. They'd been seeing each other for months, and in one horrifying message he said, "I think it's yours." I wanted to throw up. My knees gave out. I sat there in the dark, staring at a version of my girlfriend I didn't know existed. She came home an hour later and found me on the couch, still holding her phone. At first she tried to lie, said he was an old friend, that the messages were a joke, but I confronted her with everything and she broke. She cried, said she was confused, claimed she still loved me but made a mistake. I wanted to believe her, I did, but how do you trust someone who cheats while pregnant? She swore the baby was mine, begged me not to leave, told me she cut things off with Aaron. Against my better judgment, I stayed, for the baby, for the future I still foolishly clung to. But then came the miscarriage. It happened on a rainy Thursday. Vanessa came home from work pale, shaking, holding her stomach. Said she was bleeding. I rushed her to the ER. She was admitted quickly. I wasn't allowed in the room initially. I paced the waiting area for what felt like hours. Eventually, a doctor came out and gave me the news. She had miscarried. I felt like someone punched me in the throat. I couldn't breathe. I cried right there in front of strangers. My child gone. When they let me see her, she looked hollow, eyes red. She said, "I'm so sorry." And I held her. Despite everything, we cried together. But here's where things got strange. The next week, I asked for the ultrasound photo. I wanted something, some memory. She hesitated, said she didn't want to remember it that way. I pressed. She snapped at me. That was my red flag. So I did something I'm not proud of. I contacted the hospital myself. I wanted answers, proof, closure. They couldn't find a record of a miscarriage. No record of her even being pregnant. I thought it was a mistake. Wrong spelling, wrong date. I double-checked everything. Nothing. My stomach dropped. I felt the world tilt. I confronted her that night. She broke. Told me she was never pregnant. She had gotten an abortion. Not because she didn't want kids. Because the baby was Aaron's. She faked the pregnancy, then faked the miscarriage. And I was just a pawn in the story, she told herself. I wasn't her partner, I was her cover. I moved out that night, packed everything I could into my car and drove to my brother's. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. I felt violated, gaslit, broken. But something in me wanted closure. I needed to understand the why. Vanessa reached out, left me voicemails, long, teary messages, said she was lost, scared, that Aaron meant nothing, that she panicked when she found out she was pregnant and didn't know who to trust. But those were excuses, not reasons. I later found out that Aaron was married. They had rekindled things during a high school reunion. It started as a fling, then snowballed. He didn't want the baby. She panicked, so she sold me a lie and expected me to bankroll her conscience. I spent weeks in a fog. Therapy helped. Friends helped. I had to rebuild myself from the ground up. And the worst part, I still loved her, or at least the version of her I thought was real. It's been a year. I haven't seen Vanessa since the night I left, but I heard through mutual friends that Aaron left her, that she tried to reach out to his wife and he blocked her on everything. Classic. As for me, I've been focusing on healing. I've learned to be okay with not having all the answers. Some people lie not because they don't love you, but because they love themselves more. There's a peace that comes with the truth even when it hurts. I'm dating again, slowly, trusting again, cautiously. I know now that love should never require sacrificing your sanity. I share this story not to bash her, but to warn others. When your gut says something is wrong, believe it. Lies are easy to dress up, but the truth always leaves a stain. If you're still listening, thank you. Sharing this was hard. Reliving it was harder. But if my story helps even one person feel seen or gives someone the strength to walk away from a toxic situation, then it was worth it. Deception in relationships isn't always about the act. It's about the layers, the manipulation, the rewriting of your reality. That's the real betrayal. I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor, and if you've gone through anything like this, you are too. If this story shook you, if it made you feel something, don't forget to like this video and drop a comment below sharing your thoughts or your own experiences. Your stories matter. Your voice matters. And if you want more intense, jaw-dropping true story content like this, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an upload. This channel is where the truth comes to light, one story at a time.